Sure. Yeah, this up here, generator control unit actually controls, it's kind of the generator version of a voltage regulator, okay? This down here is the TSLM, the turbine start limiting module. Okay? We recommended against it because it's not a foolproof system. I'd rather keep your head in the start process. And it's the only time that it does anything, okay? This guy over here is a part of the start module. This is where we've got the timer relay and so on and so forth, okay? This over here is your master relay panel. So what we've got is a generator, start, a GPU, if you have a ground power unit, and the master, okay? For your airplane, we recommended the high-tech GCP, which incorporates all of this, and, whoops, not that, but this and this is all incorporated in one small unit. Of course, oil cooler, Vernotherm, the way the Vernotherm operates, all the oil is bypassed. It bypasses the cooler until you get to about 150 degrees Fahrenheit, at which point the Vernotherm closes, forces the oil through the cooler. We've got fuel filters and pumps. There's a pump back on the outfeed side of our fuel tank. Okay, and then the other thing we've got, this is not something that you would need on your engine. What this is, this hooks up to a little, where does it go? He's got it tied up someplace. But anyway, all it is, it hooks up to a bleed fitting that we use to bleed the FCU. We used to do this with a bottle. Well, rather than do it with a bottle, when we're on the test truck, and we do it all the time, we just ran a line back to the fuel tank, we bleed the FCU right back into the fuel tank. Okay. The other thing is there is a return line that's coming back.
That's a maintenance function or a...
Yeah,
right.
The bleeding the FCU, you want to do it the first time after installation, and what it does is it gets all the air out of the system and makes sure that you have fuel in there. Once the engine is running, and you run it on a routine basis, there's no reason to bleed the FCU except during annual. It's part of the 300-hour annual inspection. Okay. The fuel return is actually hooked up to the outlets that come from the FCU and the fuel pump that relieve the pressure after shutdown. Okay, and normally we don't run those back to the fuel tank. On an installation, they would normally run to an EPA can. On yours, since you're over water, you know, and operating off of water, the smart thing probably would be, with our header tank, there is a return system. You could actually take those things, plumb them into your return system, and make those feed right back to your fuel tanks, and just put those in as a return, and then it becomes a non-issue. There's nothing to service. Eliminates a part, eliminates the EPA can. The way the EPA can works is we dump the fuel into this thing. It has a little pickup, and it's got 2 ports for fuel in. It's got 1 port for air pressure that we tie to the plenum that pressures the intakes.